Hi, and welcome to another episode of Java by Example. Today we're going to continue with our invoice, and we are going to work on the notes feature and perhaps also get to the summation of this invoice and calculate both the subtotal, the VAT amount, and the total amount. And we'll see if we come to that, but because I think this notes feature could be a bit tricky to handle correctly. So this is the invoice we have today, and last time we fixed the numbers on the rows so they were right aligned, and I think that looks much better in the design at the moment. So today we're going to create a little box down here with a notes section, and we have the issue that this notes value will contain a string that is of a non-fixed length. We don't know how long this string will be, and I have intentionally put a string that is really long inside of these notes at the moment. So let's try to find a place to put the notes and see if we can actually print them out. So I think we need to create another function here. Print, let's see, footer. And then we take contents. We can print the footer. And let's create this function down here, print footer, and an end for that one. So let's see here, we need what? We need a stroke color, we need a rectangle, and we need not to fill and stroke that, we need to stroke that, and then we need a printer, and let's call that a footer printer, and it should print some kind of text. So let's see here, header Y, I wonder where this will end up. The moment we type how many rows, we will print 16 rows, and each row is 20, so that's 32, and we start at 500, so we should end up somewhere below 18 or 180. So let's say that we start at 160, so we will print at 160, and here we will print this get notes, and let's see, we don't need this value anymore. We will add a rectangle starting from there at 160, so this should print, oh, let's say we go a bit further down, so we print this at 140 and then print the date at 130, because I think that we also need to print something above this that we could have as an header. So let's just say notes here, and perhaps we need to print that in a bold font later on, or yeah, but let's start with just setting this to 8 points, because I don't think we need it to be that strong or big. And yeah, 60 should be fine. No, this one should start at the end and this one, let's say we go in a little bit, a few points in from the end there. And this should be full length to the other side. And I think I got one value too much here, so how high should it be? And I believe it's from below and up. So let's say that we put it 40 up and say that it's 100 high. Perhaps. If it's the other way around, we'll just change it. So let's try this. What color do we have here? We have a stroke color that isn't fully black. I think we want it to be a bit more harder gray. So let's try this. So see here where we will end up. That value should be, didn't I build it, or did I get an error? I got an error. Variable fill color is not available. Well, that's very true. So try again, and we have a build success. Run it, and here we have our box. So we have a large box, and we have a text that is inside the box, but it actually flows away to the right. So that's the problem that we will try to solve today. Try to contain it inside of the box. And well, I think this could be, see here, this could be just above the notes, so stays on the line there. Let's see here, how did we do font heavy? And did we just have different Helvetica bold? Okay, so let's try that then. We will change this to footer label printer, and then we will have a footer value printer. And the difference on these should just be the font. So let's put Helvetica there and Helvetica bold on the label, and Helvetica on the other one. So that should be good. So let's print this with the label and this with the value, and then we don't want it to go from one side to the other side of the screen. We want some points where we could put our summation. So let's push it in 150 pixels, so we end up at 370, I believe. So that should be good. And yeah, the stroke color. How stroke color is good for the text, but why is the rect so thin? Do we need to stroke that with non-stroking color, stroking color, fill and stroke, stroke? Let's see if we change it up here and say, Yeah, that's why. This is quite thin. Oh, I got it turned around. So I think this is what we want. So I wonder why the text was so heavy. We didn't assign a color to the text, so I guess it got the standard color. Oh, well, that's fine. So let's try this. Let's see what. Yeah, this looks better. I think we need to push the notes label a bit up, but other than that, I think we're good. I think the box could be a little bit bigger. We have more room, so we could use more of the vertical space, horizontal space. I got those mixed. So let's see here. We start at 40, we go 100 up. Let's say that we go 160 up. So then we are at 200. So we put this at 202 perhaps, just to see that we get a bit of a separation there, because it shouldn't be exactly on the line. It should be a bit from the line. Whoa, we got what we wanted, but a bit too much. So let's scale that back. That should be much better. So we go back 30 pixels, so we have a bit of separation from the actual rows. That's good. Now we have a box where we could put our text. So let's put this text at 60. It will start, and then we will have, let's see here, each row might not be as much as 100 because it's 8 pixel points. So let's say that we will change row with 10 points, and let's do this by having a start value here, row Y, start that at 160, and for ease we will just write one word at each line for now, just to see that it works. Split it by space, and then we will print single string at row Y, and then decrease row Y with 10 points. So we see how it actually changes for each input, for each row. And then we will have to create the logic to actually flow the text correctly. But this seems good. We have the correct spacing in between each line, and I think we have enough room or air between each line, so it should be somewhat easy to read. So now we need to use the what we learned in the last episode. So in the last episode, in our PDF printer, we had some math here to calculate how large, how big the width of the text should be for each string text. So we'll use this function and calculate the length of the text, and if the length of the text is acceptable inside of the box, then we will put another word in there. If not, we will keep the current word and just print the last line. So we will get a text area with split by word and try to fit everything into this box using that function. So let's see here, we will have the public class that will return a float value. No, should return an int value. How large this text is. So let's see here. We did the rounding after we decreased x. I think we should do that before. So width of text, and then we give it string of text, and we also will give it the font size, so we could use it in another context. So the int font size. Sadly, in here we actually use the value of this font size. So here you see that it could be a bit misleading if you don't put this in, because if it's a large function or a lot of things to keep in mind, then it could be hard to actually see what's inside the function and what's coming into the function as parameters, or what is a member value. So it's good to actually use these keywords to make the code more readable. So let's put this here, and then I believe the only thing we need to add is this rounding logic around everything here. So that should be good. I guess it could throw an IO exception as well, but I believe one of the errors it could throw is divisible by 0, which could never happen. So I guess it should be safe. The rounding should be safe as well. So let's just try this, and then we could remove this bit of logic here and just use width of text, and this font size. So that should give us the same functionality that we had before. So let's try that out, just to see that we have refactored correctly without any errors. We got an error, so what I said before, that it should be safe, well, we put this back here, and guess that font get string width could throw this IO exception, so it's part of the API that we are using. So let's run it and look at the picture. Seems like our refactoring was successful, everything works as intended. So now we can use this width of text in our example. So let's see here, we were in the invoice, we tried to print a footer. So let's see here, now we need to build some logic here. I think we should use a string builder. And then we will first off take this string builder and do toString of that. So we will get the string value of this string, and we will use our, we can use the footer printer or let's say for ease sake that we will make this function static. I believe there is nothing inside of this function that is actually using any, well, it is, sadly. Okay, I concede. Let's just calculate the size of the text then, using the actual printer that we want. So the only thing we need to give this function is the text. So this should also be omitted. Let's see if did I start an implementation here? I did. So let's comment that out so we can see if our new refactoring was successful as well. Seems that it at least builds. Yeah, so nothing changed there. So then we will take our, it's the value that we are printing, so we'll use that and get the width of text for this. And let's say if the width of the text is larger than, and see here, what do we have? We have 320 pixels. So it's larger than 300 and, let's say 320, 315 pixels. So we have a bit of a margin there. If it's larger than that, no, that's no good. No, we need to actually look at the value with our string added. So if that's larger than 350, then we will print the value and decrease the row. So we will print the value before we actually add the string. And if we have printed the value, then I believe we could clear this. And here we will append the new string value. So this should be fine, and the last row will not be printed because we said so. And so down here we will print the last row, so we will actually print everything. So let's see if this will work. Now I don't know if the actual text is too large. Clear was not defined, so I guess that we just create a new string builder. Then we will get an empty value, so we don't have any text in it. So let's see how this will look. That was fine. Was not what I was expecting because I forgot the little detail. So let's see here. We need to put append and a space as well after each word, or else we won't get the desired effect. Then we will calculate the correct value, but we won't print the correct value. So let's see here. Now we have actually printed this full block. It seems like I miscalculated width of the actual box. So I guess the width is actually 370. So let's go there then. Put some more values in here. Let's run it. And look. That seems to work fine. We have actually made something that will print inside the box and work with the different words. So now we need to create an example where this is not possible. So we can't actually print it. So I will put some more lorem in this example here, just to make a point. So let's see here. Let's print it. No, yeah, that should be enough. So here we see that we actually extend below the last line. The last line is written on the line of this notes box, and that's not what we want. So, and we don't want it to flow below. So this we will need to fix as well. And let's see here. So I believe that if the row Y is less than, so where is our 40, then we are too low. So let's see here, we need to push this down some pixels just so we don't draw on the line. Let's say that we go to 37, and this will get 3 more pixels up, just so we have a bit of a margin at the bottom as well, so it looks nice. And if this value is lower than 40, then we will break the loop. And this will make it so that we will actually have an empty string builder here, and the only thing that we will print out down here is an empty value. So that means that we will print until the last value, but that we will not print more than the last value, I hope. That's the intended logic, at least. So let's see if I did this correctly. Let's see here. Yeah, so now we are inside of the box, so that's good. Now we need to do one more thing to make this really good, and that's actually telling the user that the value you have entered is really long and will not fit inside of this box, and there's more text, but we can't print anymore. So this I will do by, let's see here, if the row is less than 50, then we will break and we will print this value here. Let's see here. So we will put it further up. We will not break it down there after we have extracted anything. We will break sooner, and we'll do the last things anyway. But here we need to, let's see, we need to add a notation that tells the user there is more. So let's just try to append a few dots. That should be fine because dots are not that large. So even though we have a word that extends outside of the line, the dots should be able to fit there. It's not possible if, let's say, the word is A or something, then we have a problem. But that will not be that common, so I guess we can live with that. That if we have a really small word in the end, these dots will not fit inside of the box. But here we see the dots fit at the end of this message and tells the user that you have entered a really long message. It did not fit inside of the box, but there's more to read. So contact support, I guess, so you can read the full notes. I just thought it would be funny to create, see here that we have 5 pixels on that side. I guess we should have 5 pixels at the bottom as well. Let's do that. We go to, should that, what did I do? Yeah, so let's go down to 35. Yeah, so this will, I thought it would be funny to create a box containing a text and actually calculating and figure out how to contain the text inside of a box. So I think this should be usable for other purposes as well. If you need to build a function that must fit inside of the box and you have some way to calculate the box size, then I think this method could be useful for you. And I really hope that you learned something in this episode and that you like this video. So give it a like, share it with your colleagues, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more examples in Java or other coding examples. And leave a nice comment if you have any suggestions how to improve this code. And I really hope to see you in the next video.